Full nudity in Mass Effect? Well, color me surprised. What's up guys, it's me Zero to my Kitsune, and today I want to talk about the 17-minute IGN Mass Effect Andromeda demonstration, or whatever you'd call it. Yeah, recently, and I will link the video in the description below so you can all see it, they played out one of the missions, PB's loyalty mission to be exact, and it revealed a lot more about the gameplay, and it made me a little bit concerned, but also a little bit excited. But more concerned. So just the things I got from it. First of all, there is obviously a larger emphasis on exploration. You're not Commander Shepard, you're not part of a military unit, squad, whatever you'd call it. This is really, it feels buddy-buddy in a group of people exploring, you know, the universe, and that could be cool. But if you liked the Commander Shepard part of a military experience, yeah, you might be ass out on this one. But that's just on the overall. Going more in depth, there is a lot of hand holding, at least in that mission or that presentation. Oh my god, if I heard PB or the AI say, "The boulder is in the way," one more time, I'd punch one of them. And particularly on the AI, it almost played the game for whoever's playing during that video, constantly calling out what the player needed to do, where they needed to do it. And I just like, please shut up and let him play the game. So that is a good bit disappointing. Another thing that's either disappointing or exciting, depending on how you see it, is the cover system. Now, the sticky cover system, you know, that were in a lot of older FPSs just a few years back, that's been removed. Now you simply crouch behind cover and you're behind it. I'm personally a little bit sad at that. I do like the emphasis on mobility, but I also like the option to hunker down and be completely immune from the front, just simply by getting up against a piece of, you know, cover. It felt cinematic, it felt fun, and it's been removed. You simply crouch behind it, and it's to emphasize the more mobility. You have dashes and jumps and all sorts of cool stuff to play around with. So, 50-50 on it. Another change, and this one I'm really disappointed because it feels like a step backwards, is the health bar. Now I don't know if anyone's really gonna point out that in any other articles or anything, but in the previous Mass Effect 3, you had a merging of two completely different styles of doing the health bar in FPS. Now, old school style was you simply have the health bar, it gets depleted as enemies attack you and it doesn't regenerate. You have to run over health packs to heal it. But in more modern games, you had the cover system come in and it was always your health would regenerate if you were simply left alone long enough. So it encouraged players to get behind cover. Now, I'm not a big fan of either of them purely, but in Mass Effect 3, they had a happy medium. They had a segmented health bar, and if your health ever dropped below a segment, it could never raise above that segment without a health pickup. But if you hadn't depleted to that point, it would still fill up. I thought that was a nice interpretation on how the health bar system could go in FPS, and they've just dialed it back for Mass Effect Andromeda. It's now just a health bar that doesn't regen. You have to run over health packs, aka ammo packs in this game, and that's how you heal. Or at least that's what they showed in the demonstration. Again, all this information is coming from the demonstration. These could all change by the final product, but the final product's in like 2.5 weeks, so yeah. The next thing I noted was the antagonist, and it felt like they were going for a handsome Jack feel in this demonstration. Who knows, that could be the antagonist for the whole game, I don't actually know that. But she was constantly taunting the player, and you know, the player was talking, not necessarily talking back, but you know, talking to teammates about how much they hate that person. And yeah, the handsome Jack thing was a real big change in the video game industry. Now it might have been someone aside from handsome Jack, but he's the one I know the most well, and that's when I noticed it starting to happen. But I do like the villain interacting back and forth between the player. It gives you more personality to the villain. So that is pretty cool. Though again, if you're more of a military kind of FPS person, you're probably going to hate this because it does put more emphasis into the whole explory, gamey, video game kind of thing. Now, the very last thing I noted from this demonstration was I guess it's the 3 ability limit. Now, it's not actually a 3 ability limit, it's actually the loadouts. You can set up 3 abilities to a loadout, and then you can switch out those loadouts between 5 presets. My question is, can I just forsake that as a PC player and just connect abilities to a number pad? Here's hoping, though probably not. And the very last thing is a really small nitpick. I didn't really like how they did the scopes. A lot of people like the ability to scope in and, you know, the areas around the scope are still visible, maybe a bit fogged up, but you can still see around you. I like the extremes. I like when I'm not scoped in to be able to see all around me, but when I scope in, it's all about what's directly in front of me. I'm sacrificing that peripheral vision and sacrificing safety in order to get a better aim on a single target. That's just my opinion, but they decided to go with the ability to see around the scope even when you're scoped in, so sad day for me. That's really all I got from the 17-minute presentation. Again, it's gonna be in the description below, so check it out, and then, you know, maybe leave a comment on what you thought about it and whether or not you're excited for this, because it really does seem like a Mass Effect for a new generation. Us old dogs who played the original trilogy might be a bit left out in this one. Either way, I'll see y'all next time.